Welcome to Coffee Club. I am your host, Paul Chappell, and today we are discussing how do you set up two mics in GarageBand. Now, this is very important if you do a talk show like I do. It's very simple. This is going to be a really quick tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have both a Mac and two mics to do this tutorial because it's going to be kind of useless if you don't have all those things. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the Finder. You can open a window, whatever, but what you want to do is go to Go, which is up here in the menu. You go down to Utilities, and we're going to be using the Audio MIDI setup. Now, this is a very powerful little app. I use this for multiple things. I'll probably be doing another lesson just on this app. But for today's lesson, we're just going to create an aggregate profile for two mics. Now, as you can see here, it seems like I have 4 USB mics, and I don't. I actually only have 2 Rode USB mics, but they're showing up as 4 because it's a stereo input. But I already know that, so no big deal. You're going to go down here to the bottom to the plus sign and click on that and create an aggregate device. And as you see here, everything connected to your Mac is going to appear here. This is more than just for microphones. It's also for any kind of monitors you have connected to your Mac. As you can see here, I have a LG TV connected to it. I have headphones connected to it. I have a bunch of things, so it's just not for microphones. But I'm going to choose all my Rode mic inputs. Okay, and as you can see over here, there's something called drift correction. This just keeps your mic synced up. You can go ahead and check this extra one. You don't really need to, but I do it anyway. Also, one more thing I'm going to cover before we go to GarageBand. You can actually rename this. You don't have to call it aggregate device. You can double click on it and rename it. So I'm going to call this Magic Hour Talk Show. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we're going to start GarageBand. Okay, so if you haven't already saved anything, you'll get this little prompt saying empty project. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hit choose. And we're going to keep it on microphone. And it says input 1 and 2, but we will come back to this in a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and hit create. And what's going to happen is we're going to create this track. And as we did in a previous lesson, we're going to gray out the count in, the metronome, and we're going to change this to time code. Okay, so we got one track. That's a problem because we got more than one mic. What we're going to do, we're going to go up here to preferences, or you can hit command comma. But I'm going to go here to preferences, click on this, and I'm going to go to audio MIDI in the preferences, and my output device, I'm going to keep that on headphones, but my input device is the important thing here. I want to put it on Magic Hour Talk Show. That's the audio profile that we're going to use for the two mics. Okay, so now it's set up for that. I can close this out, but you still only have one input coming in. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go up to track, create a new track, and now it should, yeah, okay. So it's showing more than one input. It was only showing 1 and 2, but once I changed this to Magic Hour Talk Show audio profile, it shows all my mics in the profile. So I'm going to input this new track on 3 and 4, which is my second mic. Okay, I'm going to hit create. Okay, so now you have 2 tracks, 2 microphones getting inputs, but as you notice, only one is reading. And if you hit record, only this track is recording anything. And that's my second microphone. Okay, we don't want that. So we're going to stop this. I'm going to delete this. Just select it and hit the backspace. Okay, so how do we resolve this issue? What you're going to do, you're going to go up to this first pane. You're going to right click. And you're going to go down to configure track header. And you're going to check record enable. Now you can see they're both reading. What you want ideally though is you want to enable record enable for both of them, because as you can see, even though they're reading both, they're still not recording both. So you're going to click on, this is the record enable button. You click on that and you click on this one, and they should both be blinking. So when you see they're both blinking, you know that they're both going to record. And how do we know? We're going to go ahead and test it right now. So I'm going to keep on talking. As you can see, both mics are now recording. So it's really simple. Now, if you want to monitor one of the mics, or even both of them, I wouldn't recommend that, but you can click on this input monitoring. Now, as you saw earlier, I had the output device is my headphones. So when I monitor this mic, it's going to come through my headphones. You can even do it through the mics themselves, because most mics have audio output for headphones. So you can do that as well, but I'm going to keep it on headphone. But I usually don't monitor my audio while I'm recording that. That's mainly something you do if you're actually recording music. So I don't really mess with that. Now, here's the other thing. When you go to export, as you notice here, it's only going to be one file. So let's say this is Magic Hour 28, I think is probably going to be my next show. Audio. I'm going to put it on my desktop. As you see here, it's only one file, right? So what GarageBand is doing, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. GarageBand is going to mix these two tracks together for you. Okay, we don't want that. Let's say you want to check each mic recording separately. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go over here and you're going to solo the track. So when you export, you see how that happened? It soloed this other track. So now only this track is recognized. So when you go to export it, it'd be a separate track. So I would call this Rode Mic 1. And then what I would do is I would solo this other track, export it, and then I'll do Rode Mic 2. And as you can see here, now we got two separate mic tracks. So you can import this into Final Cut Pro or iMovie or whatever, and then you'll have two separate tracks and you can make sure they have the right levels. Or you could keep the default and let GarageBand do the mix in one file. It's up to you. But I just want you to know that option exists. So that's it. That's all I got for this tutorial. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know down in the comments. Share this if you know any other audio files or YouTubers that need help. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.